Pence, and welcome to The Joy of Art. This week we're going to continue our series in rocks and trees and such. In other words, just picture elements, things that you can put together to create a picture. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about skies. I've got several colors of chalk here. I've got some white, some light blue, and some medium blue. And I thought I'd show you how to do kind of a cloudy sky with some billowing clouds that will just have a little visual interest. Depending on the picture you're doing, you don't always want to have a real dramatic sky, but it is fun to be able to do that. Now remember, I'm using lecturer's chalk, and you can work with that. It's a lot of fun. Or you can work with soft pastels. They'll do pretty much the same thing, and they're a little bit cheaper. So either way, it will work. Well, I've got a toned surface here. Remember, we always want to work on a toned surface when we're working with pastels. They just show up better. And so I'm going to come in just with some straight white. And then I'm going to work in a little bit of blue. Just kind of laying in a foundation here. And then I'm going to take a little darker blue toward the top. If you go outside and look up at the sky, you'll notice that the lower the sky is, or the closer to the horizon, you know, if that's our horizon there, the sky is actually going to be lighter than it would be up here. Further up you look, the deeper the colors become. Okay, now again, this is just sort of a foundation, so I'm just going to mix these colors together nicely here. Use my hand to get that nice feel. Okay, so we've got a nice color moving from sort of a light blue up to a dark blue. It's a little bit kind of a stark change there, so I'm going to smooth that down a little bit, make it a little softer. Okay, now if I wanted to lay in some clouds, I'm just going to come here with my white, go in on top, and for starters I'm just going to use a circular motion, just kind of, you know, think in terms of doing loops. You know, back when I was going to school, we learned how to write by doing, you know, oval, oval after oval after oval. And that's actually a pretty good technique for learning to do clouds, but the main thing you want is to make sure that your clouds don't look like that, because that's too uniform. And you don't want to make your clouds, you know, look like you drew a cartoon cloud in, because that's not going to look good. So take that one out of there. As we work on our sky, we want to work with a view of having some variety. And I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm coming back over with a circular motion, but this time I'm not going to completely blend it out. Okay, so I have some cloud shapes there. Now, if you'll notice right here, even though I've got a lot of variety, I've ended up with a line, you know, going straight down that way, and you really don't want that either. So, you know, always come and take that line out of there. Make sure that you try to keep your lines, or keep some variety, some visual interest in there. Okay, I'm going to come back in again and do this. Going to come up right to the edge of the clouds, going to soften them. Now again, they tend to blur into the blue, but that's okay. Right now, I'm just getting the basic shapes in. Then I'm going to come back in and refine a little bit. Now again, I'm not going to come in here and just go boom, 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 boom like that. going to be a little bit more subtle, but I'm going to come along this edge. And right now I'm thinking in terms of where the sun is going to be hitting those clouds. Down here, the darker part, not as much sunlight is going to hit, so I'm going to hit up at the top here with just some highlights at certain points, just to give more of a cloudy feel. Now if you'll notice, my clouds aren't, again, just strictly white. And if you go out and observe nature, you'll see, yeah, there are some times when clouds are just stark white, but more often than not, they're going to be a mixture of colors. They're going to be reflecting light that's bouncing off of the ground, bouncing off the other things in the atmosphere. Again, depending on the time of day, the color of the light is going to change. So always look at your clouds and try to just make sure you've got a little bit of highlighting. You don't want the whole thing to be like you glued a cotton ball up in the sky. Okay, I have a little variety. Okay, I may come in here a little bit, add in some others. I might even come in with some of my light blue. I'm going to darken it in here. If you want to, I have a bad stick of chalk, which is sometimes this lecturer's chalk will get stones, as it were, in it, and it doesn't like to draw when you get one of those edges. So I'll work around till I find one that is okay. You can kind of come in here. You ever seen those clouds that have just kind of big flat bottoms? So you can do that sometimes. I'm going to come down here, as in terms of distance. Actually, what I'm doing here now is just kind of drawing the outline of a cloud, because these are further away. They're closer to the horizon, but there's a bigger distance, and so they're not going to appear as big. And the closer you get to the horizon, the smaller the clouds are going to look. It's called aerial perspective. Okay. And then if you want to come back in with that, a little bit more of that blue there, just you throw in a little bit more white up here. And you can just play with these all day and have lots of fun. So that's how to draw clouds with chalk, lecturer's chalk or pastels. Get some chalk and get some paper, have some fun. And next week we'll come back and look at another kind of picture element that you can work with. And the more of these you get, then the more tools you're going to have as you begin to try to put together a drawing or a painting in pastel. Hope you had a good time. Hope you'll try this out. I'm Jim Pence for See the Light, and we'll see you next time.